last time, after having cleared the upper part of the temple, you all found the dire badger's lair leading into an underground complex. It seemed to be some form of natural history museum, studying animals, as well as a research facility and lab. It's a little hard to be sure exactly what you're looking at, but managed to survive a deadly trap. Fought off the animated statues, as well as finding a couple of magical trinkets. A large, if slightly decaying, wealth of knowledge. Uh, let's see, you identified the hairpin as the butterfly hairpin and the talisman of the wild for the necklace. Anyone who has looked at the talisman, please give me a knowledge religion check.
Or what'd you say? Anyone seen what?
Anyone who has looked at the talisman, the little necklace that you guys found in the library that is magical, please give me a knowledge religion check.
I think that was I didn't. So
Genevieve, the only one?
I mean, I have a total of 10 since the lack of ranks means that's the most I can have.
That's fine. It is it.
I got a 16.
Okay. Well, those are the three who looked at it, and all three of you actually succeed in knowing that this pendant bears the is basically the mark on the talisman. I'll remember how to talk in a moment. Is the symbol for the god Rectic. God of beasts.
Rectic. Oh. Can you tell the group, Genevieve?
Yeah, I do, since we can't hear Genevieve. But yeah. So the symbol on here is of rectic.
Of what?
You said rectic, right? Is the name of the god? I'm still hearing. Alright, I say that.
BRACTEC. That is my my god I worship. He's been watching over us this fine hunt we've been on. It's a sign.
Would you like to hold on to it then?
I'd be honored if I could, if you don't mind.
Sure.
So it's called the Talon of what?
Talisman of the Wild. I believe it's the thing at the top of the entries.
Oh, that's pretty. That was out of game. Ooh, pretty.
Okay. So you have those two things. Are you taking anything else from here?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
There was a. I have listed a coin pouch, a scroll that I guess I didn't identify,
Go ahead and roll for that yet, if you'd like to.
and then I think I'd actually failed, is what it was.
Ah,
All right.
that makes sense. We'll have to wait till another day.
Yeah, or one of the other magic users can try, but I did not.
I'm not seeing this list.
That's because I take notes and you don't. There's two copper wire spools. Was that like industrial spools, or like are they like portable?
I mean, they're gonna be heavy, but you could take them out. So the copper wire is, remember how the statues are half stuffed and then half wire frame?
Gotcha.
The copper wire is what they use for the wire frame.
Butterfly hairpin.
I can't think of any real reason to take it, so if someone else wants it, I'm leaving the copper. Oh yeah, we got the butterfly hairpin, and I will take some of the books on animals.
Okay.
Basically, just a handful that look interesting.
Okay. Would interesting to you be local animals or animals of distant lands?
Ooh, distant lands.
Okay.
Can I find any that have dinosaurs in them?
Yes.
Hooray.
Did you say
I'm
all
gonna-
right or hooray?
Hooray.
Alright, alright, alright.
I'm gonna give that one to Charlotte. And say, here that thing you called earlier, I found a picture of it. there's others in here. Maybe you can try to get some of those to come too.
Oh, my God, phone. So I kind of ask you what you're trying to show me exactly.
I remember that vicious ass lizard that you summoned the other day.
Oh,
This is it,
yeah.
right? And look, and I flip a page and a two, and there's others in here. Maybe you can try calling one of them someday.
Maybe I'll turn into a vicious ass lizard one day.
So is this it for this room? Is
So I did not map the whole place. Realize that. So you had the initial room, and then it branches off into a T intersection and goes down to two more rooms. One had magical beasts in it. The other had like domestic animals in it. There were no more traps, but it was still the same general kind of setup. Like, here's the animal with the mural behind it of it in its natural habitat with a plaque that gave a description. And then it come back together and led to another hall. One side had the library, one side had the research and statue building room. Which, by the way, has an antelope in it. I don't know if anyone remembers that.
So significant.
Not particularly. The fact that it's like appears to be an intact body.
It was a moose.
I have it listed as an antelope.
I have taxidermy moose written down. Unless you told us it was a moose because it was the closest thing we would recognize, but
Hello.
I got moose written down. Does anyone particularly want this butterfly hairpin? Otherwise, I'll hold on to it, I guess.
I would love to have that just for the concealment.
I'd also be interested in it too. So it's a mixture of, I guess, a couple people.
I have no interest in it.
I want a pretty butterfly, but our Kaji also wants the sweet butterfly to conceal.
Well, y'all come to an agreement, or we'll have to treat it like the last time, and I'll pick it.
So I'm looking at you in excitement. Kaji's looking at you as a necessity. Kaji, do you do anything specific before I'm like, ooh, maybe we should like flip a coin for it or something, or however you want to call it?
I'm fine with letting fate decide.
Okay. Kaji's awesome. All right. Flip a coin. Is that a thing in this world?
There are coins, yes.
I was just like,
If he doesn't know what coins are and doesn't want them, I'll be more than happy to take his share.
Hers, but yes.
okay. I guess like I was thinking in my head is like, do they have faces on the coins that we have, I guess, or per se?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want us to roll a dice, or are you going to legitimately flip a coin?
Well, are you having Genevieve flip the coin, or what's?
Genevieve, will you flip the coin to see? I'll call tails. That means that Kaji gets heads.
It's tails.
What? Okay.
Sorry, I'm on the
got
phone.
Coins, so I did 1 through 10 was tails, and 11 through 20 was heads, and I got 5.
Okay.
So he's got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
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 Where's the information for this said item?
The
In the
handout at
handout?
the top of the journal.
Top of the journal. Hand up. Butterfly hairpin. Got it. I say thank you very much as you most likely hand it to me.
Yeah. Of course. I'm not holding on to it. Well, from my notes, I think that was all of interest down here. Unless here's a trade-off, Charlotte. I know you can see magic. Can you tell what this scroll is?
Since
Okay.
we rested, right? With our level. Is that
No, it's still the same day you went down here.
okay? Okay, let me see if I have any spell slots left. Oh wait, no, it's a cantrip. So what am I looking exactly?
So you need to cast Detect Magic.
No, what item am I looking at to Genevieve?
What?
What am I looking at to detect magic on? Out of game.
Scroll. A scroll.
Okay.
I couldn't
So
make out
you
magic.
you hand it to me, or do I just look at it?
Yeah, I mean, I give it to you.
Okay. So I'm like, thanks. So I you start to see me start to cast magic, and I glare really intently for some reason. So I will go ahead and use detect magic.
Okay, well, it is magical. Now roll
Alright.
Spellcraft.
Yes. See spellcraft. Okay.
Because Josh, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you did get you made the Knowledge Arcana roll, didn't you?
I think I just went straight to spellcraft. I don't care what school it is. Tell me what it is.
Alrighty. Nice. Good roll on my end. So it's a 22 altogether.
Nice. All right. Well, you have definitely identified it. Now, I just need to find the note that tells me what it is. Because, that's important. And I've been looking since you brought it up, and I can't. No, it's fine. It's fine.
So I
Give me a
look at
moment.
the item and you
Okay.
see me using my
You have identified it. I just, like I said, have to find. Okay, so it has 2 spells on it. The first one is Aspect of the Falcon, and the second is Detect. I'm sorry, not Detect. It's Commune with Birds.
and I'm like, so I look at Genevieve as I'm done, and you saw me staring intently at a item that you presented to me, and then I'm like, kind of back off from the item, smile a little bit, and then I'm just like, oh, this must be something with like aviation creatures or creatures that fly, because it's got something about it. You said a falcon.
Aspect of the Falcon.
Falcon, yes, aspect of the falcon. Yeah. So basically, yes, I tell you that, Genevieve. And I hand it back to you.
Okay.
Well,
Ben, to make sure you understood, there were 2 different spells.
Yeah. So because I remember it was aspect of the falcon and the other one was
Birds.
basically you got both of them. Yeah. Commune with birds. Is that like the same as like? That's not like wild empathy. That's like
No, it literally lets you ask birds a question.
question. Okay. Is it like a single question or something?
You utter a question in the form of a low-pitched bird call that can be heard up to a mile away and can understand the responses given by birds in the area.
That's a pretty important item.
Yeah, over the next 10 minutes, birds reply as if you would ask them the question using Speak with Animals, giving you a general consensus answer to the question based on their knowledge.
Wow, that's a really community with the birds. Great birds.
That is loud as fuck.
So when you
Whatever made you think birds were quiet?
tweet,
Oh,
And then you have just all the corvids being assholes about it.
Dude, I've got ravens that have decided to set up in the oak tree that is, outside my bedroom.
Nice.
They are so loud.
Be nice to them.
What did you do to upset them?
Nothing. They're not. They're just. I mean, trust me, I'm not messing with them. They haven't done anything to, our vehicles or the house or anything. They're just loud. It's
And
also
start
the fact that,
making peace offerings.
in the middle of the morning when they're the loudest is when I'm trying to go to bed.
Yeah.
Give them peace offerings. Feed them.
I don't need a rookery, thank you.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I mean, you could absolutely train them to steal for you.
I can steal for myself. I mean,
Not saying it's ethical. I'm just saying it's possible.
all right. So back to here.
Shit, what was I going to ask? I forget how it was. Go. Oh, right. So scroll with 2 spells. Do they activate at the same time, or can you?
No, you can
pick and
activate.
choose them?
You can choose which one you're using.
Well, either way, I'm not familiar with these spells. Kind of sounds more like your thing, Charlotte.
and I give you like a, okay, so I guess I'll just take the item then? Question mark. So you give it back to me, I'm assuming.
Well, yeah, I mean you know what it is, and I'm not familiar with it, so I guess.
Okay. Well, I take the item from you and I say, thanks so much, in a cheery voice.
Right?
Well, I think that about covers everything down here. Should probably head back to the carts.
All right. Well, it would have been difficult for you guys to climb out, but since you had attached and lowered a rope before you started this, it's actually pretty easy.
Oh my god!
He's just trying to contact you about your car's extended warranty.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, climb out of the hole and get my fucking rope back. And we go to the carts.
Yep. Okay. Leave the ancient temple behind. All right. Alright, so you have returned to your carts, and everyone is prepared to continue down the road then?
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Cormac is at least.
Well, you continue down the road for several days. You can mark off rations. At this point, all of your spells will have been restored. You're actually beginning to get close to the general area where he's trying, the edge of the area he's trying to tame. Basically where the new border will be. So you don't really need to go much farther at this point, but you have also noticed that there isn't been any sign of large beasts or monsters in the area. It has actually been boring for a few days. And I would assume that you're beginning to discuss turning back when out from the woods. Actually, everyone can give me a perception check. You're not necessarily taken by surprise.
I ain't seeing shit.
Fair enough.
I know a rock will take me by surprise. Hold on.
It's not a rock.
I rolled a
Night
nat
one.
one.
Just a
Hey,
really
not
good roll.
bad. Not bad. Good work, Genevieve. Not Genevieve, Charlotte.
You too, Genevieve. Good
Did you
job.
just congratulate yourself and still fuck it up?
Apparently. So you hear me say that out loud, and then I'm like, you're like, what the fuck?
I got a 19 on my perception.
Dang.
All right. Well, anyone that got over a 15 will note that you are being approached before the person is actually in sight. And eventually, out from the woods comes a gnome riding on the back of a wolf. He has got a bow. He's strung across his back. It's not like he's aiming at you. He's obviously been out hunting. He's got a couple rabbits tied to his belt. Says, greetings, travelers.
Greetings.
I'm Brender. This is Scret. Pats the wolf's flank. He just kind of huffs and... What brings you folks out this way?
Looks like the same as you. Just out hunting, trying to make the area safe for the safer for the locals.
My tribe maintains this area. Fairly well, I would say.
You have a tribe here?
Aye.
Is it a friendly tribe, or are we encroaching somewhere we shouldn't?
We don't mind travelers passing through. If you'd like to come to the village, I can show you the way.
Sense motive.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
I'm finding it. Give me a second. Well, it's just a d20. Let's see what I get. A nat 20. I will take that.
All right. All right. So you get that he is a little leery about your group. Not overly, but he does want you to come to the village. Why you're not exactly sure, but it could simply be
Okay.
that, what?
Yeah, I just said okay and then coughed. My bad.
Oh, okay. I didn't know it was a cough. It came through really weird.
Yeah, I'm choking on pizza. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, I was mainly trying to see if he was like
It doesn't
if it was
appear to be a
if it was
trap.
Hills have eyes kind of deal.
right. Like, oh, let me lead you back here, and then we walk in and get tied up and eaten.
Doesn't appear to be. He
Okay.
appears to be leery but honest.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you accept his offer?
Well,
I have no objections.
Yeah, that's what I was
No,
just
we
gonna
could-
say.
I guess we could use to meet more friendly people.
Yeah, we'll go around. Maybe they've heard some trouble around the area that we can help them with.
Always looking for work.
So it's like, well, it's easy enough. We just go down the road. So a lot of you do continue down the road. You have a donkey pulling the cart, Genevieve? There's
No,
a
I think we
horse.
both have. I think we both have horses.
Okay. So yeah, they're a little skittish. I get handle animal checks from
Oh
controllers,
yeah.
because this is an actual wolf, not a dog.
Oh,
I have a donkey, but he's just carrying a pack saddle.
No, there's.
Okay.
You have a yeah. Still, handle animal check.
Uh, 23.
Okay.
17.
Okay, Genevieve doesn't have any particular issue. Cormag, you have. It takes you a bit to get your donkey to move its ass. But
Eh,
I got a 14 for mine. Horsey.
yeah, you're having trouble, because I don't believe your horse is a war mount, correct?
It is.
Oh, it is. Okay, so near.
Or, yeah, let me check for sure. 1 second. Yeah, combat heavy horse.
Okay, so there's some more hesitation, but honestly, in the end, yours probably the least afraid. But it is still reacting to the presence of the wolf. However, all of you continue down the road. He leads the way, whistling to himself. As you approach, you hear sounds of habitation, the murmur of people talking and doing work around, but you don't see a clearing in the trees. There's no sign of the village. Right up until the point where you turn a corner and realize that why there was no break in the trees are the village. So there are a number of buildings that look like this.
Oh, isn't that just harmonious?
Where the trees have literally been grown into buildings. And as you're standing there, like taking in the sight, as there's plenty of people moving around, a wolf runs past your party. Again, I will need handle animal checks or a ride check from John if you're mounted.
You said from
John.
me.
Other John.
Oh.
I don't believe Kali has a.
19.
I do. I have a light warhorse.
See, I asked before if people had horses, and everyone said no.
I don't have a horse.
When we went into the other scene, I asked if people had mounts, and everyone left.
No horsey for me.
Not mounted. This is a.
Right, but anyway.
I have to have a horse. I'm not strong enough to carry my shit.
Ride check.
If you're on a mount, I need a ride check. In that case, John, I needed a handle animal check from you.
Okay.
For previous, or ride check rather. If you're mounted, it's a ride check. If you're not mounted, it's a handle animal.
Previous was 17.
Okay.
And you said you need a ride check. Let me see what that is. Okay. And that's a nat 20/25.
All right.
Love burning that on this.
Yeah. Basically, you get him to plant his feet, and he just doesn't move. As a wolf runs by the party, amidst shrieking and giggling of the nude child on its back. In the distance, you can hear a woman yelling, "Wriggle, you get back here!"
Did you say a new child or a
Nude.
nude child?
Nude.
Okay.
That's another thing. As you look around, clothing seems to be more optional within the village. People aren't nude, but they're not. There doesn't seem to be the sense of propriety that civilized areas have, where you need to cover yourself in lots of clothing.
Sounds like my kind of place.
Basically, people dress for a job that they're doing. So, like the hunter you were with was dressed to move through the underbrush without getting scratched up by twigs and such. But within town, people wear enough to get by, and that's pretty much where they stop.
Gotcha.
Anyway, the child continues on by. Genevieve, did you have another handle animal?
Not as good. Not as good. 11.
Oh. Oh boy.
Just as like I was hoping this would happen.
Yeah, so you're is yours a donkey or a cart horse?
It's a heavy horse.
Oh, you have a heavy horse for a cart.
Yeah.
Literal cart horse. So it is not reacting well to the close proximity of a quickly moving wolf. Well, let's see what happens here. All right, so it is. Do you ride in the cart or do you walk?
No, it has a driving area in the front.
Okay, I'm just asking, because you could do either, since not everyone in the party is mounted in any way. So it is beginning to bolt.
That's not good.
Give me a secondary check.
Son of a bitch. Hadouken. Hell yeah. 24.
Okay. So it bolts, since the wolf ran past it, it runs forward, because it's hard for it to turn too sharply. So it's bolted towards the middle of the village, and you basically get it to stop before it goes too far. And at this point, it's basically just locked its legs and is staring around wide-eyed, because you see basically like the right side has several more wolves scattered around.
Oh no.
Basically, well, out of game. They have a pack of wolves that they use as mounts.
Mm-hmm.
We noticed.
Honestly, the wolves kind of raise, the ones that are paying any attention to you kind of raise their heads, look at you, and then go back to whatever they were doing.
Cool.
They're good puppies.
Yeah, they're like domesticated wolves.
No, not domesticated.
Somewhat.
Tamed.
Oh, existing.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Yeah, they're coexisting. See, your horse is staring wide-eyed at the group of wolves, who are honestly ignoring the horse.
Well, I'm just gonna be hanging out with my horse for a bit. Y'all do what you need to do.
So there's a little bit of excitement, new people coming through. You are approached by a young gnomish woman. Says, hello, I'm Marvis. You may bring your things over here. The visitor's house is on this side. She gestures over the left. And there are more houses on the left, but you do see that there is something more akin to a classic log cabin built over there. So for one thing, none of you would fit into any of the gnomish houses. You'd more or less have to crawl in. This house is built on a scale that you will easily fit. There's also a pen nearby for animals, and the other thing is you see a number of deer on the left side, some of which are wearing harnesses or occasional blanket saddle.
Horse blankies.
Kind of.
Met Malvis, I am Cormag. These are, I gesture at each of my companions. Vaughn, Charlotte, Kaji, and Skeefly. Out of game. Our main diplomat is apparently busy, so I'm kind of stepping up.
Like, welcome. Please. Take a rest.
Moving over.
You are safe here.
Is there a concern outside of the village? Is there?
Oh no. Our warriors patrol these woods to keep us safe. We don't see many travelers. Occasional merchant or adventurers like yourselves heading deep into the wild. searching for ancient ruins and treasures and such. Hence, she gestures to the cabin that she's leading you towards.
Ah. Well, you might have more in the way of neighbors soon. There's a man of. God damn it, Justin, I can't remember the name of the country. All of a
Lasso?
sudden. There's a man of Lasso who is seeking to create a domain out here in the wilds.
Give me a sense motive.
Funny.
Alright. So, when you say that, you see her, like, miss a step, as well as several other people nearby that have obviously been listening in because, you know, you're new and interesting.
I'm going to lean into Cormag and say,
Stiffen
maybe
and
you shouldn't speak
They-
so much.
I was gonna say they do not appear pleased with that information.
Maybe we shouldn't mention so much of why we're out here.
Out of game, I hadn't said that we were out here for him.
He did not.
You did not, but
You just did.
not loudly.
No, but let's see if she heard you.
Would that be a bluff or?
That would be a perception on her part. You were
Perception of her.
Yeah, it's a perception on her part, but he did say he was trying to be quiet. I'm trying to like a stealth, I guess. We'll just
Okay.
It's going to be at a negative because it's not about normal. Point being, you have to make noise because, well, otherwise you're not communicating.
Right. Well, I mean, my stealth roll was a 27, so
I think that will probably be good enough. Very least, she does not seem to react any more to your statement than she did to Cormag's.
alrighty. So we are led to the guest house.
I don't need to know how Roll20 does a whisper. I know that. So I'm trying to look up, like, hey, how would you roll to hear a whisper? I'm gonna just hang on.
I mean, to hear one, it would just be a perception, right?
You know what? Here's an answer. It is a perception. There's no roll on your part. So
Ah,
the spell message. You can whisper messages and receive whispered replies. Those nearby can hear the messages with a DC 25 perception check.
okay.
Which tells me that a DC 25
I'll
is
make
how.
it even worse.
What's that?
Hear the details of a whispered conversation under the perception DC table is only a 15.
Oh, in that case, she definitely heard you. She's right there.
That's not good.
Yeah, she had a 12 on the die.
giving you a look. I'm like, really? I'm not saying it, but kind of emoting.
All right. Well, thank you, Josh. Probably should have started there. Maybe she heard you. Let's see. Still negatives. On her part. Either way, she doesn't appear to respond to that. She does continue to show you to the visitor's lodge, where there is a pin nearby where you can put your animals.
All right.
Be right back, guys.
Set our animals up. Make sure mine is got his feed bag set up for the evening.
Okay. So she leaves you to take care of that. Eventually, you are approached by an elder gnome. Not old, but obviously older than the ones you've been. The ones you've been dealing with to this point.
All right.
He says, "Greetings. My name is Cutter. I am the chief of this village."
Greetings, Chief. I do another round of introductions. I'm Cormag and indicate everyone else. Unless someone speaks up to introduce themselves.
Fine job, sir.
I go, hello. I'm Charlotte.
I just do a bow towards them.
I am pleased to welcome you to our home. Would like to invite you to join us for dinner this evening.
It would be an honor. I at least shall certainly attend. I will not speak on what my comrades shall do. That is their decision.
That sounds quite the night. Thank you.
So he nods politely and moves off to do other things. While it is the afternoon, you still have quite a while before dinner. Do you guys do anything?
Can I find a enchanter?
Gonna go out and ask amongst the gnomes?
Yeah, or find that lady that or Cutter, maybe. Yeah, ask around, I guess.
Alright. Give me a diplomacy.
Okay. 19.
Alright. You are getting some looks. Like before, where people were more open and curious and welcoming. Now they seem less so. But you do eventually get directed to a gnome by the name of Marika.
Good evening. I would like my out of game. How would I ask her about this? Like, I want to put adaptive on my bow.
You would phrase it that you want your bow enchanted so that it can handle your strength no matter how strong you become.
Okay. I'd like, if possible, if you could enchant my bow to make it so my what'd you say? Make my bow adapt to how much strength I put into it, or how much, strength I put into it. If possible.
This could be done. What do you have for trade?
Well, I have gold. I have foodstuffs.
We have little use for gold here. It is a shiny trinket. Can provide our own foodstuffs.
Well, is there anything you would need or want?
She kind of gives a condescending smile, a little smirk for a moment. She's like, "We are well taken care of. If you have something of value to trade, that is always useful in later times, but
Well, maybe another time then. Thank you for your time.
I will be here." Turns away.
I bow and I back out.
Okay. Anybody else?
I rejoin the group. I kind of lean into everybody. I don't want to alarm y'all, but I think these folks are plotting to kill us or something. Because I don't know what changed, but since we've been here, they've all been giving us the stink eye. Starting to think this was a trap.
Are they right nearby us when you're saying that?
No, we're in. Well, not visibly.
Yeah, Genevieve's not an idiot and wouldn't be like, "Hey, there's people around us. Hey, I think these people that are standing around us are trying to kill us."
Like, well, I was. Well, after they were informed of the initial upset seemed to come from being told that at a game pause, I need to that that Lord Velcum was looking to expand out into the wilds. They seemed a little discomfited, and then Kaji actually said something to me about, well, maybe you shouldn't tell them why we're out here. Which I hadn't.
Any other red flags?
Well,
I don't know that they're going.
I think that's about all you need right there.
Mm.
Question about how many, give or take, like obviously I'm not gonna know the precise number of how big this village of gnomes is, but what kind of size of this village would you say, we'd be dealing with?
So, due to the nature of their construction style, where especially if the one on screen's a bit more gaudy than what most of them would be.
Right.
So it's a little hard to tell like how many buildings there are, especially because there's probably multiple buildings in a single tree. You're guessing a little over 2 score total gnomes in the entire place. That
Two
includes
score, is that
a score is
100?
20,
So like 40 gnomes.
40 to 60 gnomes. Yeah.
My next
Well,
question was,
That includes children and elders.
uh, were there guards at the front? Were
Nope.
those wolves? Okay, so why don't we just? I don't say this. Okay, how do I do this? I could whisper this, be like, "Hey, we could just casually leave, or should we investigate this further?" I kind of whisper that.
We have no reason to investigate anything here.
So should we just? So I still whisper. Should we still leave then, or stay?
Well, either way, this place. It's not as though this place is going to go away just because we leave.
right.
Oh,
So
We could try to smooth things over and tell them we're here to offer help, anything they need.
Oh, you're back?
uh so my thought on this is the fact that they are like a self-sustaining people. They don't
They
need our
don't
help
seem,
for anything.
yeah, they don't seem to want our help at all. They don't want to trade with
So
us.
we've got two options. We can try to leave, and they may stop us because now we've got information about them, and if they are plotting, and they do think that we're the enemy now, they're not going to
um,
want us to leave.
I was kind of pausing. Like, I feel like this is a very big jump.
Look,
We went from they're not necessarily thrilled about finding out they have neighbors to they might be plotting to kill us.
okay.
right.
So, what do you suggest we do? A mixture of core mag, so kind of to everyone in a lower voice. Still, what do you suggest we do then?
It's probably best if we just leave.
Well, given how we entered, maybe we should try to smooth things over a bit. Our job isn't just to kill whatever monsters we come across. We also need to get the locals on his side as well.
Or at least neutral.
Right. So
And even
we
if
need
they
to at least talk to these folks and see if we can at least get them on board with the idea.
or at least get them, or at least have it so that they're not going to actively be a problem.
Um,
I mean, part of the question that comes to mind is this even within the area that he would be looking to claim? My understanding was we might be a little far. I mean, we were already discussing heading back north.
Yeah, we're about the borders, but that would be that would still be their border, and might be some territory disputes and stuff. Point is, while we're here, we can at least try to smooth things over right now. And if it's not going well, then yeah, we book it.
In other words, don't loose the saddles off the horses just yet.
Yeah, pretty much.
currently actually sipping a cup of tea. I would, as
Everyone else in the
Genevieve,
party. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
as Genevieve said, we should at least try to smooth things over. Even if all we do, even if all that we manage to accomplish is secure them, is trying to tap. He actually taps at the table for a moment. Even if all that we are able to accomplish is getting them to agree to send an envoy to talk to him or his people, I feel like that would be more than enough on our part.
I mean, as far as I know, we haven't done anything actively or openly hostile yet. I'm a little shaky on Nomus culture, but you know.
It's a general concept of unless someone has actively done something hostile, you don't start things.
Right.
Particularly when you've invited them into your village.
Unless you're just an evil creature.
I apologize. Skiffley, you had something to say?
This is out of game. Everybody in the party is of good alignment, correct?
Nope.
Nope.
Okay, are we?
We're not evil.
Neutral?
I'm full neutral.
Because here's the thing, too.
Yeah, good.
You know,
Neutral good.
is
Awful neutral.
we've got
You said awful neutral.
realistically, I feel like a best course of action is to get back to the boss man, you know, because if he wants to expand this far out, he's clearly has evil intentions because if
Nah,
you know,
No, actually,
I'm not following
No,
your logic on that one.
okay,
okay,
listen,
this is
the
still not
guy,
a game discussion. So
yeah. What I'm saying is the guy that we're working for, right? We're doing jobs for. If he wants to expand his land, right? That's kind of his goal here. If he doesn't know about these people, it's the best, right? If he finds out about these people,
That's evil. That's definitely evil.
no, I'm saying if he finds out about this like gnomish tribe that would, be a giant thorn in his side of it with his expansion, he's
You don't know
most
that
likely going
either.
to send a bunch of people to
feels
try to
like
kill me.
again.
You're assuming a lot of things.
I'll be honest. Yeah, Seth, I kind of get where you're coming from, but at the same time, that assuming that his automatic response to a native group is going to be to wipe them out before they even do anything seems a little excessive.
Like, I know that the area we came from is kind of known for its corruption, but that's just corruption. That's like bribery changing hands. We're not talking about outright evil genocide here.
Hey, you know what? I'll keep my mouth shut. Fuck it. I'm
No,
not
you're
gonna say a
doing this.
motherfucking thing. We're gonna see what happens.
This is critical, actually. No, Seth, we appreciate it.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, there's nothing wrong with voicing. I think it's important. There's a lot of people.
There's nothing wrong with voicing your opinion. I'm just providing my response of I'm confused as to why you think that his immediate response is going to jump to kill them all. Like, I'm actually confused, Seth. I'm not sure what he's done for that to be your immediate thought.
He is a wealthy noble.
Okay.
And from what I think about wealthy nobles is you don't get wealthy by being a good person. Right. Like crazy wealthy, right? He's paying tons multiple groups to go out and make the area that he wants to control safer, is what he's saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
And realistically, is he just trying to send people out to make it easier for him to expand without it being causing him issues
I think
to do that expansion?
one of the major things that you're overlooking here from your conversation is he's not expanding. He's becoming. He's just a merchant. He's wealthy, but he's not a nobleman. He's
Yeah.
looking to actually claim land to become noble. So yeah, we're out here just making it safer. He doesn't have an army to send out and slaughter all these people for.
If you're rich enough,
Otherwise-
you can get an army, no problem.
But that's what we are.
Yeah, we're mercenaries just out here clearing these dangerous things for settlers that are eventually going to come through.
If we, I feel, okay. So out of game, I don't necessarily disagree entirely, Seth, with the concept of he's a guy who's filthy rich. You don't get like that by being nice. No,
Right.
no, you don't. That I very much agree with that sentiment.
Yep.
But there's a difference between not being nice and
I remind you that the area where we are from, the city state that we just left, it is a basically a mafioso crime syndicate. It is corrupt. You have unfair business practices there. You have extortion rackets. You have seedy criminal gangs everywhere. That's
All right.
part of what
So
that's part of what
here's-
makes those merchants so rich is the fact that they have that exchange of money and that wealth transfer.
All right. So here's the last thing I'll say about it. We just need to be prepared for if we go back and he says, "Oh, really?" and he doesn't want to be diplomatic about it and tells us and basically says to us to come out here to cause damage or even just kill them. We need to keep that at least in the back of our minds how we're going to proceed with that, because obviously we don't want to just tell a bunch of, for the most part, what we can tell from for now, innocent gnomish tribe.
Right.
So
What
And
could he
we
do to
also
us?
have the right to refuse requests because we're mercenaries.
yeah, that's part of the advantage of being a mercenary. We can go.
We can say,
"Oh,
no,
no,
fuck
that's
you.
evil."
so
Yeah, and then
to bring us
he's-
back, because basically, I mean, it's good to note, like, you know, like, yeah, you're not wrong. It's something in the back of the mind, but
Mhm.
it's also getting way ahead of ourselves. We're
Yeah.
still talking about just, you know, obviously they're not happy about the idea. So let's see if we can get them more on board with it. And then we don't even have to worry about that outcome.
Right. If they're willing to open trade routes, then that's the problem that's solved.
Yeah.
So,
like I said, that's the last I was going to say on the subject. I will keep my I don't know what the word would be, but to myself, I'll sit back and watch what happens. Because I'm I look at things very cynically, and
okay.
You
Well,
know
it's
what I
good to have that viewpoint. And we, it's nice to have that voice. Not knocking you for it at all, bud.
So, well, are we gonna sit around and wait for them to say something, or what do we want to do?
It's a very good question.
I mean, I can go and try to talk to them now and try to smooth it over, or we can kind of play it by ear. Or...
Yeah, we're just big idiots. So, some
Here's
of us.
the thing. In the end, as far as I'm concerned, Oh, was that actually in game?
Yes.
Hello? Someone at the door?
Yes.
So checking the door.
Mavis is back. He's like, the feast is nearly prepared. If you would care to join us.
Thank you. Be out in a moment.
Hi, puppy.
I should take a brief moment to comb my facial fur.
What? Hello?
Do you actually have a grooming kit?
What are you doing?
Combing his fur. He just said that.
My 70-pound pit bull is trying to climb into my computer chair.
Looks comfortable.
I'm already in it.
Like I said.
It looks comfortable.
Come here. Come here, puppy. Hello. Hello. Come on. No. He wants to play.
Well, let him roll a couple dice.
So we're headed to the feast.
I assume.
Yeah.
Unless
We'll
you're
make
going-
ourselves presentable because we just got done digging around in a burrow.
Well, that was several days ago, but yes.
Oh, wow. Okay. I missed that.
Yeah, you guys traveled for quite a while. Alright, so a quick scramble to freshen up,
Clean up.
head out. There is a large gathering. See people moving about, doing minor tasks, but there are several fires going, cooking. The meal is heavy on meat. Not a lot of fruits and vegetables. There are plenty there, just in comparison, it is very heavy on meat.
Just to put this out there, I participate, but as in like I do show up and you know commune. I'm not eating anything.
Okay.
I said I'm very skeptical when I'm gonna eat rations back at the cabin and
All right.
keep myself up tonight and shit.
Say there. They carve into the roasts. Basically, they have deep plates or shallow bowls, depending on how you want to look at it, that they just put everything in and they pass it around.
I'll be eating. Don't want to be rude.
Okay.
And them think even worse of us. Anyone else that gonna eat?
Of course.
You think that they're gonna make all this food and just not have us eat it? Oh my god, hey, that would be very rude.
So is this like the whole village here eating, or?
It appears to be.
Okay.
And there are some people who are giving a lot of you dirty looks. Some curious, some don't really seem to be reacting to your presence. Like, they have other problems in their lives. You don't rate.
I'm fine with that.
Is the food good?
Yeah.
Like taste wise?
Yeah, it's not like exquisite high quality, but it is very good in filling basic. There's a sense of
Well,
camaraderie amongst the gnomes that does remind you a bit of your monastery.
Not loudly and not to anyone specific really, but I'm just as I'm eating, I'm like, man, this is delicious, and I grab another piece of whatever this, and I take a bite. Ooh, man, this is good. Y'all can cook. Trying to be out of game. I'm trying to be as nice and you know.
Yeah, so they take the compliment quite well. They're passing around wineskins.
I certainly partake of some of that. Is it normal wine? Does it take? Is it a? Justin's like, why are you asking?
No, I know what it's made from. I'm just trying to figure out how you would tell. You can tell
Perception?
it's a berry wine rather than a grape wine. I believe there's an flavor difference there.
Yeah, there is, as I understand.
It doesn't smell of almonds.
And the fact that my wife is a wino, I can confirm that.
I drink very little, so I'm going off of what I've read. So,
Are we seated as like guest of honor or just random spots at the table?
table.
Yes.
At the ground.
There's
no
like
table.
there's no table. And you're not even seated as guests of honor. You're just like, hey, pick a spot, join us.
Cool. In that case, I want to sit near Cutter.
Okay. He's one of the few people sitting in an actual chair, and even that's pretty plain.
Calling it a chair is stretching it a little bit.
It's a carved stump.
Is it wood? Can you sit in it? It's a chair. So the road down here was a little busier than we thought it'd be. Then we had a run-in with a group of minotaurs. They've been giving you all any trouble down this far?
We did have a band a few weeks ago that came by and tried to extort us.
Are they still giving you trouble?
No. No, my hunters took care of them. He gestures off to one side. Their bones are scattered over there.
Oh, well, keep a village like this safe. You all must be very capable.
My warriors don't see a lot of combat. They're not without their skill.
Of course.
Typically, we have the occasional dire animal or beast some form. But usually it's not too troublesome in the area.
It does seem quite peaceful here.
It's a bit worse when we first settled here. Managed to maintain it.
The way the trees have grown in your village, you must have been here a long time so far.
Nearly 300 years my tribe has lived here. Tree shapers are quite skilled in their craft. They make us most of what we need. He actually raises the bowl which he was eating out of, and you can see that it's not carved. Grown in that shape.
Quite skilled indeed.
While we do trade with travelers coming through, he kind of nods at John's character. So he knows John was looking for
What do you normally get out of traders? It seems like you're pretty self-sufficient. What could you need?
Trinkets mostly. We don't have a good way to work metal here, so buckles and occasional metal knife to supplement the stone ones. Give me a perception, John.
Okay. I gotta find where that is again. Oh shit. Well, that's a 15.
Okay. So yeah, you take a quick look around, and other than the occasional bit of jewelry, earrings, necklace, and the buckles and such like that, yeah, there is very, very little metal on display in this village. In fact, the only metal weapon you see is the sword that Cutter has kind of draped across the back of the chair.
Interesting.
All the most people seem to have spears or bows, not on them. Usually like hung on a hook or propped up against a wall somewhere.
So these are like the classic gnome that we think of, like really super short, like maybe 2 feet tall.
2 to 3. So like they're riding on the back of a wolf like it's a
Right.
full-size mount.
Well, I mean, wolves are massive anyway.
Yeah, wolves are bigger than most people realize, and these are on the upper end, but they're not like dire wolves. These are just regular
Right.
wolves. So yeah, they're pretty small.
Well, if you guys need some metal, I do have a few daggers I can spare. I know he was interested in trading for some of your goods. We can talk more after we've finished communing.
Certainly.
I'll be right back. I gotta use the bathroom. Bio break.
All right, we'll take a quick 5-minute bio break. Everyone can pause and come back in a few. All right, so we're back. Have Genevieve and Haji have gotten a little bit of information out of Cutter. Some of the things that the tribe trades for. They seem fairly independent. What about the other 4? What are you all?
This rabbit is delicious. I mean, it is tender. I couldn't have cooked it better myself. Wow.
So he's gonna keep brown nosing the gnomes.
This wine.
Sounds right.
Wow.
Ugh.
I'm just sitting back and watching. Just
Out
like,
of game, anytime my character gets like an actual cooked meal, He loves it.
So here's the thing: they will keep feeding you food and pouring you drink as much as like. They're actually like there's not sure you will notice, but others may notice that at this point they think they're taking bets on how much you can handle.
It's amazing.
There's a guy with one of those fucking bookie visors over in the corner.
To the point that I need a fortitude save from you.
Oh my god.
They are going to stuff you.
He's
Nat
stuffing
20.
himself. Okay. Yeah, you are fine. You're getting very full, but you are not affected overly by the wine.
Oh god.
Which,
Amazing.
I
That
just
was
remember, while they do get travelers, they're mostly left to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So the same amount of wine that would get you drunk would have one of them passing out, most likely.
Probably in a pool of their own vomit.
Possibly. And this
Justin.
guy's over here downing it like it's nothing.
I've been rolling percentiles to see if I got drunk myself.
Oh my god. That's hilarious.
Yeah. So yeah, one he's an adult, but he's obviously pretty young still. I have never seen anyone consume secondary wine.
I'm sorry.
Did not know it was possible.
I can
You
switch
better
to
get you
tea
better
if need
get some
be.
before he drinks it all.
If you're running out of wine, I can switch to tea.
Well, we've got
Uh,
plenty. Just wow.
Have you tried this boar over here? Hey Genevieve, you tried some of this boar?
Now he's just taking guesses at as to what's at the table.
Uh-huh.
Not entirely wrong. It's variety.
I know. I just think it's funny.
I'll tell him if he's ever wrong.
Start shouting out some ridiculous shit and see if it's actually there.
But here's the thing: it's like it's one boar, it's a couple different rabbits, it's so they don't have like 6 boars that they cooked.
Yeah, and they probably want to cook any deer because they have them as mounts.
I would actually probably contest that thought because in a society like this, they probably don't waste anything.
True, but they don't necessarily hunt deer.
Right.
The herd of deer.
Well, the deer that would die from infection or old age, not them hunting it.
But at this particular feast, no, there is no venison.
Is anyone performing?
Yes, there are a number of people. Drums and flutes seem to be preferred instruments here.
I would inquire if it would be permitted for me to. I offer to perform a little myself if I go fetch my instrument.
Certainly. They're quite intrigued to hear what you will play.
Right. Well, first off, the actual perform check is a 26. And
What is
trying to
your
think.
instrument again?
Shamisen.
Ah, Yeah, they don't have a lot of stringed instruments.
And I choose and
That is not one.
a little more lively piece.
Mhm.
Was a little more appropriate for the occasion. Normally the pieces that I play are more not necessarily are thoughtful. It's honestly almost a form of meditation for me, but I know faster pieces.
Okay. So as the feast has worn on, they seem to have relaxed some. So, some have begun to dance to the music that others were playing, and now they're dancing to your music.
I'm clapping.
This is a very active group. Um, while not necessarily a group of, it's not like, hey, here's a bunch of supermodels living out in the woods. There isn't a lot of fat among them. Very active, athletic bunch. However, there will note that there is one old gnome who just does not stop giving you all the stink eye. Like, others have calmed down, relaxed in your presence.
Okay. Well,
They, this one guy just does not.
I want to ask Cutter about him. Just
Why
kind
not
of give him
you?
a nudge. Be like, is he okay? He seems upset.
Has never cared for outsiders, even passing through.
But I hope we didn't do anything to offend him.
His grandfather was one of those who originally came.
He was one. He said his grandfather was one of the ones who originally settled here.
Yes.
It's quite some prestige among you gnomes, isn't it? Must hold some kind of weight.
His voice is listened to, but he is an elder of the tribe, so we do take his words into account when we make decisions. But we're
Out of
also
game, what
aware
is
of his prejudices.
the Gnomish language?
The gnomish language is, I believe it is Beb.
Okay,
Beb.
never mind.
Beb, yes. However, you're not hearing much of that here. You honestly mostly hear an older form of pinpole.
Hey, I speak penpole.
Or common.
That's one of my languages.
You know why it's your language?
Because of the area we're in.
Because it's the national language of Lassu.
Yep. Oh, man.
Gifley, you still abstaining? Hmm?
I do take a glass of wine and I will prestidigitize it into water and drink that, but that's all I partake part in.
Prestidigitation is not going to turn it into water.
What did we do? What were we talking about doing so that I could where I was drinking water?
You would take
Flare your hair.
water and use prestidigitation to clean it,
You could
Oh, that's right.
flare your hair up.
or use the spell create water to create already clean water, per Genevieve.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot how we were doing that.
That's fine. I mean, you could do it on the wine, and it would get rid of any impurities in there, but it's still going to be wine.
I was about to say, I'm still just drinking the wine. I'm just flat out.
Are you indulging, Charlotte?
I am. I'm having so much fun listening to.
Give me a fortitude save.
Okay. Oh fuck yeah! I rolled a fucking nat 20 too, which is really funny, and I haven't really rolled much tonight.
All right.
Pretty good. Hold on. So I did that. That's not an automatic pass, is it?
Yeah. Nat 20
Oh,
on a
okay.
save
Gives like
is an
a
automatic pass.
26 altogether. Okay.
Which that would have been more than enough.
Damn. I guess I can handle my liquor,
It would have seemed so.
but I keep drinking, so it doesn't matter. I'm having
Yeah,
way too much
there's
fun.
a point where both of you are just going to fail.
Is there any
Yeah, I was about to-
fruit on here on this table?
There are. Again, it appears to be wild fruits. They don't seem to cultivate farmland.
It's a very gatherer style society. It's not
Yes.
too much agrarian. So they just don't farm
Correct.
at all, from what we could tell.
From what you can tell, yeah, there's no cleared areas.
So they don't have a lot of breads on their dinner.
Correct.
Interesting.
So I guess Gifley, you get approached by the young gnome. Seems curious about things.
The young gnome. Which young gnome?
That young gnome.
Yes, that young gnome.
Gotcha.
That looks like
He
a
wants-
badass.
He just wants to know about the lands you come from.
The land I come from.
Never seen a person like you before.
It's because I'm black, isn't it? I knew it.
So's Kaji.
No, I'm black.
Yeah, but you're a cat. I'm just a tall version of him and very darkly complected.
That definitely, yeah. He's never seen a drow.
Out of game, I have no freaking idea how to respond to this.
How old are you? Did you ever tell us how old you were?
Yeah, I'm definitely the oldest person in the group. I'm like 118. No, I'm 164. 164.
So you're like
Getting on.
That's right.
I got you.
I never did do the adjusted ages yet. Yeah, we'll worry about that later. Yeah, you're still, as an elven race, you are definitely in the elf.
Yeah, I'm still totally fine.
But here's the thing: you don't have to go into an actual description. Just if you want to tell him about your homeland, you can. If you'd rather not, you can try and blow him off.
Yeah, I will. I'll tell him about it. Answer any questions.
He seems very interested. Like, actually, not He asks enough questions that you feel like he's actually wanting to know, not just distracting you or buttering you up for something.
Yeah.
Like, semi-fascinated.
I mean, I'll answer any of his questions. It's the only interaction I'm gonna get tonight, so.
Okay. Um, Vaughn, you said you're just eating and drinking pretty much constantly.
Did I notice that one gnome, that older guy that's just kind of just staring at us?
Give me a perception check.
Let's see. That is a 20.
Yeah.
Not nat 20, but just 20.
Yeah, that's still enough. He's not subtle.
He does not like us.
How close is he to me? Is he?
Not terribly. He doesn't particularly want to be close to any of you lot.
I kind of get up and with, I don't know, maybe like a boar leg in my hand and a cup of wine. I walk over towards him, like not really staring at him, but like kind of just walking, like not. It's not like I'm. Doesn't look like I'm specifically walking towards him, but
You're getting up and moving around, and the direction happens to be in his direction.
yeah.
Okay.
And I go try to approach him.
I was gonna say that's actually pretty easy to do, considering that people, like I said, this is a very informal style thing, so people get up and move around on a semi-regular basis. I would say give me a bluff check, just to
Okay.
keep it from being obvious where you're heading.
20.
Okay. That is plenty. Alright, so you end up over by him.
And I kind of like bow towards him and try to sit down around him. And I hold out the boar leg, and I'm like, man, this is delicious. Do you know how they braise this thing? This is amazing. And the wine, it's so fresh and just quenches the thirst.
I don't see this ending badly at all.
I've been rolling percentiles, see how drunk I am, or close to it.
Have you been failing?
No. It started at a 3, went to a 20, now I'm at a 60. I was waiting for a 75.
The percentage of drunk that you are?
Yeah, like how close am I to being shit faced?
Oh boy.
Give me another fortitude save.
Oh boy.
Let's see.
Swing your partner round and round.
Got a 16 on a die plus 7, so
okay.
22.
So you are getting affected, but you are not drunk yet. It's one of those, you wouldn't legally be allowed to drive a car, even though you could probably make it home just fine.
Oh, hey, Ossifer.
Yeah.
You know how fast you were going? 20.
You tell me.
In a 45.
5.
In a 45. Oh, the speed limit, officer.
You had your foot pressed to the floor, but not on a pedal. Your car was just idling forward. He huffs and he's like, "The outsiders are forgotten."
Can I like sense his motive?
Can try.
As you're getting intoxicated, try
Yep.
to sense motive.
Yeah.
It's just a negative to his roll. It doesn't stop
22.
him from attempting it. Okay.
Hey, pal. I'm not your buddy, pal.
Not your buddy,
I ain't your
dude.
pal guy.
He is obvious. I'll be honest. Yeah, you can tell he's not happy with your presence. He does not happy with your being here. He's not happy with you eating his people's food or drinking their wine. He does
Well,
not want you in this village.
Are you having a good time? You want to get up and dance? We could, you know.
Oh dear.
Jesus fucking Christ! Somebody go get him.
No, no, let him go.
Grab him by
Everyone's
the
having
ear
fun,
or the
and we could.
Jesus hair and pull him away.
They're having fun because they don't understand what you lot mean. Danger you represent.
We're just here to
You
help.
left Lasu to get away from the corruption of civilization, and here you are.
We're helping good folk.
Help. I've seen what your kind of help brings. Sutter may have forgotten how his father died, but I have not. And
Well,
he gets up
And
and
Vaughn
leaning heavily on a cane, stumps away from you.
Vaughn smacks him with the boar leg.
have a good rest of your night. Hopefully, you sleep well. Is there any of us around me?
Closest to you is Charlotte, who is having another mug of wine poured for her.
Yay!
boy.
More.
Charlotte,
Thank you.
So
how
let me
you
put it this way:
doing?
this stuff, there's actually a few gnomes that have already kind of just slumped back.
What were they trying to keep up?
Huh?
Oh man,
Okay. I love you.
that's funny.
I love you too.
So, Vaughn,
My bad.
do you come up to me and you say, you ask me what I'm doing?
No, how you doing? Like, I'm like, how you doing? That guy, he was
Okay.
he was
Hold on.
cranky.
Do you need another fortitude save from me?
Yes, please.
Okay, hold on. Let's see how.
I mean, everyone else, I assume,
Yeah.
is sipping.
I rolled a either you can take the first one or the second one. It's up to you. Either one, they're not very great.
Well, I'll take the first one because it double clicked, so I'm not going to hold that against you.
Okay.
You are feeling it.
Okay. So
So basically, it's one of those where the world has gotten brighter, colors are more
Yay.
vibrant. The light from the fire is entrancing.
Ooh. And then I hear Vaughn come up to me and ask me how I'm doing. I'm like, how are you doing?
Whoa.
Whoa.
But I'm like completely. But you see me. But when I ask you that, I clearly look like I'm really not doing amazing, as you can tell. Clearly clearly drunk or pretty drunk. Not like pretty drunk, but I'm drunk. You can tell I'm drunk. I'm very
That guy, he
jovial.
was very, very grumpy back there. Hopefully, you're better in company than he was.
I'm I'm great company. Yeah. Yeah. Did you hear Cormac's music? Cormac had great music.
Oh, it was amazing.
It was so fun to listen to. Hey, Cormac, can you play more music? Is Cormac still playing music?
These two are such nice drunks, it's not even funny.
That's how I am in real life, though.
Has
Well,
Cormac stopped?
I would love to ask him.
But he's not here right now.
Think he's trying to say something, maybe?
No.
Hello.
There you are. You're real quiet.
I kind of laughing and listening to Vaughn being a bumbling friendly drunk.
Okay.
Um.
So
I-
you have just been asked to play another song.
But I'm clearly
I-
intoxicated, as you can tell.
I nod, smile. I smile and like, very well. Let's see. I already did.
So, suddenly there's kind of a thump in front of you, and you
Okay.
look up, like just on the other side of where you're sitting. A guy has set down a large drum, and he taps it. Dum, 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 dum. He's setting a beat.
Okay. And I nod
Play
and I
that
kind of
beat,
tap.
boy.
I clap. I clap offbeat.
Kind of tapping, trying to make sure that I've got the beat down, and I'm like, all right, and I'm trying to improv basically.
Yep.
In
That's
tune with
kind
the
of what
beat.
they're challenging you to do. So.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not.
No, nat 20.
Oh. He's going to
on a perform check.
play a fine tune.
Not what I was expecting. 28.
All right. So, you, the drummer, and a pipist that picks in there are all weaving around each other, because while the drummer does keep the bass beat underneath, he is also adding his own flares or expanding upon the rhythm. And you all are playing around each other, and most of those that still can get up and are dancing. Genevieve, is that your dance perform? Or what are you doing?
It is. I'm not as good as my storytelling.
That's fine.
My dance perform is a 22.
So the dance is very much of a stamp. I do not know the words for this.
Freestyle dance?
Well, yeah, it is freestyle all the way around, but it's kind of adding to the beat, so they tend to stamp to the beat as they move around to emphasize it.
Sounds like
Ian
that
was
to me.
saying.
I know what you mean.
Okay, yeah.
Stop the yard.
Then I got an 18 to sing.
Oh boy. We're all just joining in.
Yeah. So
I join in. Yay.
So yeah, Ben, you are having a great time. This is honestly right now, you haven't a care in the world. Charlotte the world is bright and lively around her. The music fills the air to the point you can see the notes dancing around each other.
Oh dear.
Oh,
Oh, dear.
God. That's never good.
Oh dear. The
Out
gnome
of game,
magic is kicking in.
does anyone recall what the wine was made from?
Berries.
They gave it a specific name,
Did they?
I did not.
Dreamberry.
Ooh, dreamberries.
Uh-oh. John, buckle up.
You in for a trip. Hope you packed your bags.
Boy, you going on a trip.
Yeah, it has mild hallucinogenic properties.
You remember that scene from Dumbo? You about to see all the fucking pink elephants.
Parade?
Mommy. Go see mommy.
All right. Yeah. So that goes on for about a half a mark, which would be the equivalent of about half an hour. I'll be honest, at which point the vast majority of the celebrants, especially Charlotte, are either passed out or collapsed.
Just
Chasing the
slump
dragon?
over a chair.
There's a few celebrants celebrating over at the edge of the tree line, but we're not going to interrupt them.
There's a few celebrants that are celebrating all over the grass.
No, not
We'll
really.
clean that up later.
No, no one's vomited. Yeah. So you definitely get the feeling that these people are not very socially inhibited.
Mm-hmm.
But so at this point, I'm going to retire Charlotte and John for the night. Or Charlotte and Vaughn. They are helped to the cabin either by their fellow adventurers or by gnomes that are being
What you
used
talk
as
about?
the
I don't need to go to bed. What you talk about?
No, I'm making sure to get the two of them to the cabin. I set my instrument down next to Genevieve and Kaji and moved and get the two of them to the
I
cabin.
thought Kashi was Ben. No, Ben is Charlotte. That's right. I remember.
Kaji is other John. Little John.
Yeah.
Yep. Robin Hood, Little John, running through the forest.
Yep.
Oh, the
Yep.
lolly,
Go
the
ahead.
lolly.
Oodalolly. All right, so get them to bed. So that leaves the other four of you up. Cutter is still up, although he did participate in the dancing. What is there anything else you want to try and do tonight before you go to bed?
No, I think I'm good. The business that I want to take care of will be helping John get his enchantment.
And I will, as normal, cast Keep Watch on myself for the night.
So, out of game, maybe I missed it and everything, but I don't think we actually got an explanation. What was the old man talking about?
He mentioned it to John and not to anyone else.
True.
But he said something out of game about Cutter's dad, how he died. But John was the only one he mentioned it to.
Right.
And he's now drunk and passed out.
Okay. Would it be knowledge history, Justin? Because is this the normal roaming? This is not the normal environment for gnomes, is it? They're normally in the.
The gnome homeland?
Yeah.
Well, as Skiffley could tell you, the gnome homeland is far to the west. Now, that's not to say there aren't gnomes in this area, but they tend to live amongst the other, within the villages and such.
So as I make my way back to where Genevieve is sitting with Cutter, because as I recall, that was where you'd set up. I meant to ask earlier, Chief, but the party was quite exciting. Thank you for inviting us. What led your people out here? You are quite a ways from the out of game. I can't remember the name offhand, but the Great Plains, I think, is one of the terms for it. Yeah.
Hmm?
Far from your people's normal stomping grounds.
Sorry, Jim. I was looking at something. Say that again. I caught part of it. And then it went
I'm like,
weird.
what? So you're a bit far from your people's normal hunting grounds. What led your tribe out here?
My tribe
Or
long
village?
been separated from the Holtlands. We actually left Lasu a little shy of 300 years ago. It has been a troubled time. We decided that we were not happy with the ways of civilized land. Left it behind. We've tried to create the ways of our ancestors here.
Hmm.
I would say you've been successful.
And I sigh, and then we come and tell you that the place your ancestors left is coming to you.
Well, I will be honest with you. No, that does not please me in the slightest, but this is not the first encroachment into our lands. They have been drawing closer year by year. Once we rarely saw any travelers through this part. My father began to see enough that he had the Traveler's Lodge constructed. I hold no animosity for your people, but I have no particular love for. They have proven quarrelsome.
So, with us bringing the news of further encroachment, where does that leave you all? Do you plan on leaving, or perhaps?
Why should they leave?
Well, that's my hope. Is perhaps there's some kind of understanding to be made?
I don't know. Chief I may be, but I am no king. We have to discuss this. Some will wish to flee encroachment of civilized. He says it with a disdain that is hard to actually recreate without having it myself. People. Some will wish to stay and protect their home. We have lived in this land all our lives. Don't really know anywhere else. There have been those of us over the years who have left, wishing to visit civilization or other places. Very few have ever returned.
Well, you were here first, and we certainly have no intention of letting somebody boot you out. It's just you're awfully close to where he's wanting to settle, so it's just trying to find that balance between the two, I guess.
I will need to think on this. I cannot thank you for the news, but I will thank you for your company this evening.
You've been very
Yeah.
gracious hosts.
You indeed.
Stands to his full height, which is
Game.
not very, but he is, despite his age, he is still well muscled. He nods to you and heads into one of the houses.
So I looked to Genevieve and I looked to the others and I'm like, well. Seems not sure what the right solution is here. I'm collecting my shamisen, probably grabbing another mug to drink as I would think we all start to head back towards the cabin.
Unfortunately, Cormag, I don't think the solution is ours to give.
It's not.
But I can't help but feel some responsibility for whatever happens next.
Now, quick pause, guys. I have to take my own bio break now. Alright, so any more conversation before you go to bed?
I don't think so.
Nope. The next morning, you awake. Even the two who may have overindulged do not have headaches, although Vaughn may have somewhat of a stomach ache.
That's not because he drank too much. That's because he ate too much.
Yeah.
Like, way too much.
Go do a couple laps, work it off.
Eat all that and then go to bed. It's going to go to your hips.
So, as you come out into the new day, bird song overhead, you can see that they've already mostly cleaned up from the night before. Even the gnomes, though it seem, have taken a late rest. While there are a few up and about, it's mostly pretty empty.
Guessing nothing happened in the middle of the night that I would have caught on to.
Nope. As long as you stayed within the cabin, then it was a quiet and boring night.
Alrighty.
Okay. So, did you wish to do anything else in the village, or are you going to pack your things and leave?
I told his fucking hell.
Gonna have another group
God damn.
conversation with
I'm
people who aren't
fucking
drunk?
like god damn god fuck. Vaughn, god damn it. I hate how my brain doesn't work sometimes. Vaughn wanted to trade yesterday. Correct?
Yeah.
He was wanting enchantment work done, yes.
Okay. Well, he didn't figure out he didn't really have any idea of what to trade with them, but now we have an idea of what they need and want. So you can try that again. I suggest Devon trading them our we've got chain shirt, we got some thieves tools, we got a crossbow, long sword, short sword. I'll put up a couple daggers for them. Basically the metal stuff that we have that they can't easily get a hold of.
I could wait till we get to more readily places, because weren't we talking about going back to the guy to tell him what we've done?
We are kind of at that point.
We might still be a bit soon, but
Yeah, I mean we've only taken care of a dire badger.
and a few minotaurs on the way.
A few minotaurs, yeah, but
We're not just here for fighting, we're here for exploring so that his people can.
yep.
Tell him about the ruins and whatnot.
Well, we could. One thing I don't think we've done yet is we can just ask our gnomish friends here if they know of any dangers nearby that we could look into. And if not, then yeah, maybe we can just head on back, maybe swing wide in case we run into anything, and yeah, report what we found so far and do a little gearing up for those that need it.
Sounds agreeable to me. Also, Justin, something that I'm working on this morning after I have eaten while we're discussing our options. I am working on my latest map.
Okay.
For total of 23.
All right. Just covering all the areas you've been through?
Yep.
Okay. Alright, well, are you guys packing your stuff up and getting ready to leave, or what are you doing?
Basically, but I'll have to keep an eye out for Cutter or Mavis, anyone that we could ask if there's anything nearby that we should take a look into.
I would like to talk to, or at least try to get an idea if there's anything that they would want to trade for some metal items. Never know.
So you're kind of looking around at the.
I don't expect with the kind of society or at least village they have, I don't expect them to have like an actual store or
They do
anything.
not.
Yeah. But I don't know if they are interested in any of the more heavy duty gear we have.
Okay. So you step out and you're trying to look around for someone to talk to, and give me a perception.
Let's see, that's what I thought it was. Well, how does a 14 do?
Well, you see some people over there picking up some of the bowls that were left out from last night. You're
Mm-hmm.
literally like take 2 steps in their direction, and she pops up in front of you, which would be startling if she was eye to eye with you. Since she's about at your waist, it's less so.
Okay.
Startling, maybe, not really intimidating.
Like, oh shit, fuck, where'd you come from?
Glaring at your pee-pee.
Kaji is a girl.
Correct.
Oh, that's right. Kaji is a girl.
My apologies. I
always-
didn't mean to run into you.
Can I help you?
Possibly. I was wondering, you guys or Cutter mentioned yesterday you guys have some difficulty getting a hold of Metal Gear. I was hoping to perhaps help you guys with that. I have a few extra items that we'd be willing to offload.
She narrows her eyes for a moment. She is trying to stare you down, but the fact that she
Right.
has to lean her head back to do it, I feel like it would lose some of the effect.
We could get her a step stool.
I think there is a penalty to intimidate for size differences.
Yeah. But not all of the effect.
Mm-hmm.
She's obviously a warrior. But after a moment of staring at your face, she's like, generally we trade some trinkets or jewelry that we craft in exchange for such commodities. I can see if any of the crafters have anything available.
I would love to take a look.
Yes, Vaughn, why are you rolling linguistics?
Oh, sorry, I accidentally clicked it. I'm sorry.
He's hungover,
No,
he's
I
trying
was
to speak.
seeing what it does.
How
I'm
do
new.
I English?
Sorry.
You guys, I'm fine.
No, you guys.
I love you.
Danger.
So, after a while, she comes back and she basically sets down a blanket and then she starts laying stuff out on it.
Okay.
Necklaces and pendants, armbands. Yeah, it's decorative stuff for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Either something to be worn or attached to something else. Typically made of wooden beads, feathers, the occasional bit of crystal or shiny rock. Strung on leather cord.
Is there anything like a brooch or anything?
There is one. Let's see here. We'll go with there. Yeah, actually, there is a woven. Um, you're not sure if it was woven afterwards or if it was grown in this thing, but it's literally twigs formed into a circle, and then the inside, uh, it's a generic songbird shape.
Oh, that's pretty. So I mean, I'll show the different weapons and stuff we're not using.
Okay.
I know there's a set of thieves' tools in there. We said apparently we have small leather armor and a small mace
Mm-hmm.
as well. So I mean, they'll be there to be offered. So if anything catches our eye, but I'm definitely gravitating towards the brooch.
Okay. She said, "I am. Apologies. We have all heard your names. I am Kali, daughter of Cutter."
It is a pleasure, Kali. I am Kaji.
Kaji has wares if you have coin. I couldn't resist.
So basically, she has the blanket set up. She has her stuff on one side. She, basically invites you to lay your
Mhm.
stuff out on the other side, and then she moves some of your stuff. Like, how do I phrase this? She's not like taking it to her, but she's moving it more towards the middle. Like, hey, these are the
Mhm.
things I'm definitely interested in.
Okay.
But while keeping it all spread out in front so both of you can see it.
Absolutely. I have one of my companions was interested in an enchantment for his bow. So please feel free.
America is disdainful of outsiders. Be honest, I'm not too fond of you lot myself, but despite what some of our people think, we can't exist completely on our own.
It's always wise to be a little wary of those you don't know. But to shut them out completely is a fool's choice.
So my grandfather said, she hefts the crossbow, which is quite large in her hands.
Even for a light crossbow.
Well, it's the equivalent of a heavy crossbow for her.
Yeah.
Except, of course, it doesn't have the crank with it because it's not meant to be done that way.
Mm-hmm.
She sets it back down. Like, well, unfortunately, most of this we won't be able to use. Oh. Even though it's good metal, it's simply outsized and we don't have anyone that can work it.
It's understandable.
Out of game, is the potion, is the vial of the oil of grease on there?
If it's in the party loot, then yeah.
Still is. No one's ever claimed it.
So the oil of grease, staff, crossbow.
So she like
These-
pops the cork off and sniffs at it, and she looks at you questioningly after she takes her head back and shakes it. Like, what is?
It's a throwing potion. You throw it to an area to make it very difficult to be passable. It's very slippery.
She kind of, It does a thoughtful frown, tilts her head to the side for a moment, and then she sets that in the middle as well.
I'll also place a couple of my personal daggers on the blanket, as well as caltrops.
Out of game, these are ones you're currently wearing.
Yeah, so I have several that I keep on my person in addition to my kukri. So yeah, those are from the sheaths on my person.
Well, I mean, are you laying the sheath down as well? Or are you just unhooking
Yeah,
it?
yeah. I'm not like threatening her with it.
No, that's fine. I'm
Yep.
There's a difference between you pulling out an item out of a pack and laying it down versus taking offerings a tool you use. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right. Yep.
So that definitely gets some attention from her. She picks one up. She's like, dagger for you is nearly the size of a short sword for one of us. She kind of picks at the wrap on the hilt and looks at you inquiringly, like basically she wants to undo the wrap on the hilt.
I motion that it's okay for her to do so.
Okay, so she does carefully take it off. She's examining. Basically, the point is she's trying to figure out, can she downsize the hilt so it'll fit comfortably in the grip of one of her people versus being sized for your larger paws.
Yeah, I mean, it should just be a wooden hilt.
Yeah, well, she's checking because they aren't always.
Yep.
It's usually a wooden hilt wrapped in leather, and she's just making sure. So yeah, she is interested in the mace. They'll take the mace, the armor, the oil of grease, and the daggers you have offered. She kind of looks longing at the chain shirt, but again, like she said, they have no one to work it to make it fit one of them. So,
Well, I mean, chain shirt should be pretty easy to work. It's just a bunch of links. As long as they have something to pry them open, they can shorten it.
and they don't.
No.
Or just wear a dress. A chain dress.
That's about what it would be, but it would be cumbersome.
I know.
So
I just think it would be funny.
Oh yeah. She's like, well, out of game. Does anyone remember what the staff is? Was that the wizard's staff?
It was.
Okay. So again, she asks about that.
I honestly, out of game, don't remember anything about it.
Okay. So out of game, I can tell you this was determined. It was the wizard's bonded item. It is more intricate than a regular quarterstaff. It is a wizard's staff. However, it has no innate properties of its own.
Okay.
It's a
So
fancy.
it's a fancy walking stick.
Yes.
Okay. So if if she has a question about it, that would be the most I could tell her.
She just accepts that. She's like, well, Actually, out of game, are the axes there as well?
I mean, it's there in the party loot, so if she's interested in it,
Out of
those are
game.
big for me.
Yeah. No, she can't even lift one, dude. They are Minotaur great axes. She
Yeah.
couldn't pick one up.
I can barely lift one.
He says, very well. If your companion is willing to wait, I believe I can exchange most of this for some work for America.
I'm sure he would be thrilled with the news.
And you wish to trade for the brooch?
Yes, it is a pretty thing that I do like.
Mavis is rather proud of her work.
I can tell she puts a great deal of care into it.
I would gladly trade it for one of your blades. Out of game. I'm trying to she's holding the trade of the brooch for your dagger separate from the trade of the rest of this gear for an enchantment.
That's fine.
Because that means more to her.
That's fine.
Like it's obvious but not blatant.
It's fine. It's however she wants to do it.
I don't feel like I'm conveying that it has more meaning properly, but I don't know how to do it, and my brain is going. Bleh.
Well, I guess it would be on me to pick up whether or not.
Yeah,
that's how she feels.
You are correct. That would be a sense motive.
So I'll go ahead and roll that for you. Let's see. Oh, well, this is just straight roll, so we'll see. Oh, that's a 2.
Yeah, you have no idea. On the other hand, yep, you got none of that undertone. On the other hand, go ahead and make an appraisal check.
Okay. That's a 4.
She's getting a hell of a deal.
Yeah, I know she is.
Okay.
But that's okay. Out of game, I know that she is, but that's okay.
No,
I'm here to be as some kind of envoy and help try and build trust with these people.
Okay.
So I'll take a short-term loss.
Alrighty. She does mention that while they can't use the bigger stuff, basically because they have other people that come through, that they occasionally trade with them for different things. So some of the people they have come through are adventurers headed out into the far western wild. All right.
Well, then I shall go and give my companion the good news. When would you like him to deliver the bow to be worked?
If you would go and get it now, I will take it straight to America and she can begin.
Beautiful. I shall return shortly.
She owes me plenty as it is.
So, yeah, I will go to I'll go back to Vaughn and say, I managed to get the deal for your bow to be enchanted.
Are you serious? Thank you.
They just need it for a few hours. Or at least some time. Didn't specify how long it would take.
Well, thank you so much.
Just remember,
what do
you owe me a favor, and I will collect.
Okay.
So I'll take your bow, and when they're done with it, I'll bring it back to you.
Thank you.
think nothing of it.
Okay. So you take the bow to Kali, who takes it off, you assume, to America. You have your nice new brooch.
Yep. I shall wear it on my lapel.
Anybody else do anything?
No.
Charlotte's like, I don't want to move.
Do I spy Cutter anywhere? Or Mavis?
Not see Cutter this morning. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
$13.
Okay. Actually, you do, because she's not terribly far from. I assume at some point you're going to go out and take care of your animals.
Yeah, I mean we're actually, well, we were gonna be back.
You thought you were leaving
Yeah.
till someone gave,
Good job now.
till someone gave away Vaughn's bow.
We're getting it back.
You see her over taking care of the deer. Feeding, grooming.
I will head over to her then. Hey,
She's alerted to your presence because
Oh.
the deer more or less as one look at you because they're not used to you. So,
hello.
oh, good morning. Did you sleep well?
Better than usual, being on the road and all.
Good. And you
So,
enjoyed the feast last night?
yeah, it was pretty good. Kind of feel bad. I mean, we didn't bring you anything, and we bust out a nice little feast for us. You're very good people.
She smiles. Well, we take almost any excuse for have a bit of a celebration.
Same. You all were from Lasso a long time ago. Do you know of Larwin?
Oh, yes. We are familiar with the gods.
Well,
Larwin is well respected among us, although, of course, the Moonshade is our deity.
I just present my goblet talisman and yeah, I'm a fancier. Yeah, Larwin is so yeah, last night I greatly appreciated it.
Well, you could have said a blessing. I don't think that would have gone amiss. But we were blessed with your presence.
Yeah, sure. I'll say one on my way. Leave you with a good one. So I know it's kind of awkward to talk about after what happened yesterday, but we are here on behalf of a patron in Lasso, and so I'm just wondering if you happen to know of anything around the area that your tribe just tends to stay away from danger, and maybe something we can help you with.
She stops and she's thinking. She's like, well, I believe that the area has been mainly pacified. I know that the warriors have had an issue with minotaurs coming from the northwest, but I know the last group was also dealt with. Northwest. Sorry, my brain is like, wait, directions are hard.
Yeah, we just came from the north.
Yep.
Yeah, we ran into a small group ourselves.
They aren't there anymore.
Apparently, they've I guess they've been becoming more of a problem lately. Any thoughts to why around here?
Well, not in this area. To be honest, I did not encounter them. I'm not with the. I stay with the deer. Out of game, you kind of get the feeling that there's more of a meaning to that phrase than the obvious. But from what I heard, they're either scouts or outcasts. Any of the ones I've heard of have been in smaller groups. No large masses of them, although she actually shivers a bit. The thought of an army of minotaurs is.
That's what I was just thinking. I mean, I'm like, hearing of a minotaur is rare enough, and a group of them, let alone this many of them. Yeah.
I am. Oh, I'll be honest. Should such a thing come through, we would flee or hide. Our warriors are mighty, but for that many enemies of such strength, face them would be foolishness.
Yeah. I think it's in our patrons' best interest that we probably head that way and see if we can at least figure out what's going on with them. And if we learn anything pertinent to you, we'll swing by and let you know if danger's on the way.
She gives you a smile. Well, that would be appreciated. I cannot speak for the whole tribe, but I enjoyed your presence here.
Well, I'm glad somebody did. So I won't let it's a little iffy there for a bit. Well, I know we were packing up, getting ready to head out, so I just wanted to check and make sure there was nothing else we could do for you. So
I appreciate the thought, but no, you are guests here.
all right. Well, then I'll thank you for the food and the housing, and I'm gonna go back to these other fools and get them out of your hair.
Take care of yourself.
That's the plan. And I return to find out that we're not leaving, apparently.
Yep. All right.
And our loot bag is much lighter.
Well, the cart,
Where
yeah.
the hell did all my shit go?
Skiffley, Fawn, Cormac.
I traded it for an enchantment.
I had nothing that I had any plans on doing.
Okay.
If you honestly ask where did all the shit go, I traded it for an enchantment.
without consulting anybody. He just said, "Fuck it."
It was a mission of goodwill. And it wasn't anything we were going to actually use.
I mean, I could have used the gold that came out of it, but all right.
We will be paid handsomely when we return, just for the Minotaur heads.
Cormac, do you do anything this morning?
I mean, I'll be honest, I probably spend most of the morning working on my maps.
Okay. So there are a few children, and one of them, a little white-haired boy, comes over and he's trying to see what you're doing, and is babbling about your instrument, and he's never heard anything like it. And honestly, Jim, you've been around toddlers enough that you're aware that it doesn't matter what he started talking about, it's not what he's talking about 20 seconds later. But he apparently finds you fascinating.
I mean, it makes sense. He's one of these wolves that he sees running around, but on 2 feet and talks.
I mean, there are definitely differences between a gnoll and a wolf beyond just being bipedal, but yeah, there is a bit of that.
To a toddler, I mean.
It's all right. Just every episode, Skiffley has to kindly remind us that he's racist.
Yep. Just casually.
Just
a casual drop in there.
Wow, okay.
It's because I'm black, isn't it?
Oh, fantasy racism. Why? Okay.
Moving on.
Do you I guess the question, Jim, is do you indulge, ignore, or shoo him away?
Indulge.
Okay. All right. Charlotte already said she wasn't doing anything, so yeah. So at this point, Genevieve comes back to find out, and Kaji returns like, "Hey, good news, guys! I got Vaughn his enchantment."
Okay.
Bad news is we won't be leaving for a few more hours.
Shrug.
Also, we don't have any of the gear that we had in the cart.
There's a pause.
What in?
Excuse me?
What in?
Well, I mean, they wanted to trade Vaughn for the enchantment, but they don't take gold, so we had to trade them actual metal items that they could use.
Okay.
I set down my quill and ink, and I'm actually kind of rubbing along the top of my muzzle. I'm like, and you didn't. Deep breath, deep breath. In Bren, I'm going, do not stab the cat.
You're better than that. You're better than the defaulting to that. You're not helping the stereotype.
My understanding was that materials in the cart were the parties as a whole. While I am not outright opposed to Vaughn getting the enchantment for getting his weapon enchanted, I am a little miffed, frustrated, angry that there was that there was not even so much as a question asked of us as to whether we were okay with it.
You know, now that you say it out loud, I see why you're upset.
I'm looking at you, nodding. Out of game, the thought that came to mind was, you're like, yeah, Vaughn owes me one. And the rest of us was like, oh, Vaughn owes you one. Well, what about us? What do you owe us?
You see, when you say it out loud, it sounds like I'm the asshole.
Well,
I don't know if I'm
when
okay
it's
with
said
it.
out loud, you sound like the asshole. There might be a reason for it.
But on the other hand, you wanted to improve relations with the gnomes. So
Uh-huh.
Bless you.
having an open trade with them kind of helps with that.
Well, let's just hope they don't figure out you ripped them off.
I ripped them off.
I'm not a merchant expert, but I'm pretty sure the stuff in that cart, all the random crap we had, was nowhere near worth an enchantment.
Depends on the enchantment.
Actually, I speak up. I recall hearing this from some of the clan's merchants. Despite pause, to us they might not seem to be worth the enchantment, but for a people that do not have easy access to metals, I shrug. Seems to me to be a fair bargain.
Supply and demand.
I actually point at you. That's the phrase.
What?
If they, in the end, if they, looking at the materials, judged it to be worth an enchantment, that is their decision.
It's kind of like how everyone just kind of agrees that gold is worth something because it's shiny.
But I feel like you're the one that agrees with that the most.
Absolutely.
I'm
However,
point out,
that doesn't invalidate my point. Because you also, in some way, agree that gold is worth something.
So,
Cormac?
Inner party
Yeah.
conflict.
So when you got up, you set down your ink in parchment and engaged in this discussion.
Is that for everyone roll perception?
Well, it
It's
was
gone.
whoever did it first.
Yeah.
Do you
What do you
remember
mean it's
who
gone?
was right there?
The kids?
the kids.
Well, specifically one of them.
Yes.
You now have a lovely drawing.
He's sitting there listening to the outsiders argue.
Yeah, he has no idea what's going on, but hey, look at this ink that the guy just set down for him. He is also considerably less clean than he was before. On the other hand, he's got some skill.
No shit.
So you all see Cormac. He's in the middle of kind of nodding along, and
You
I
see
look
it out of the
down.
corner of your eye, yeah.
No, okay. So this is what happens.
You're sitting there scolding me for selling
Hold
off
on.
all our loot.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I acknowledge, you know what? Fine, I'm irritated, but I was kind of letting you two go on, and then I look down. You all watch me kind of startle, and then I pause, look from the parchment, look to the kid, look back to the parchment, and I start laughing. Like, I rolled, and I'm like, for whatever, just the fact that that's what happened and the mess that he made of himself, and for some reason that just struck me as being funny as all get out. Cormac's laughing, like he's a gnoll, so it is very much the hyena laugh. Goes on for 10, 15 seconds. Calm down. I'm like, I think you need to clean yourself up there, little one. Looking at Wriggle.
Mm-hmm.
American Home Shield helps cover.
That is not what I want. Yeah, so he's just looking up at you like he is enthralled with it. Like, oh, this is so cool. Because he's not using the quill.
He literally used his fingers.
This is a finger painting. So then he'll like rub his face, like scratch, like thinking, and then makes.
I love it. I fucking love it.
Yeah. And so he looks up at you and just has ink all over his face.
Everywhere.
So, anyone who has raised children is familiar with this problem. And he just holds the scroll up to show you.
I have very quietly while he's doing that. I'm popping the cork back into the inkwell and stowing it. Like, yeah, I'm amused.
You've lost half your ink, by the way.
Oh well. Yeah. Oh no.
Oh my god.
Oh no, whatever will I do with oh wait, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, there you go.
As soon as I guess as soon as that enchantment's done, we'll be getting out of here.
Well, that might be a while.
Does it usually take a while for an enchantment? I don't know.
Well, from my understanding, it does.
Well, did they give you a time frame?
I worked through a middleman, so no.
Perfect.
I'm only hazarding to guess your particular skill set and your past experiences with it. But you handed valuables to a middleman with no understanding of when or how you'll get it back.
That sounds like a trap question.
Look, I don't appreciate this line of questioning. And it feels like you're insinuating something that I'm not too particularly fond of.
Was it the fact,
I will kindly
was it the fact that you might have got conned, or the fact that I think you've conned before?
I will kindly ask that you leave your prejudices over there and not bring them into this conversation.
Did you just point at Skiffley?
Yes.
Skipley was like, "What the hell?"
I mean, he's been openly prejudiced before, so I'm just going to point in his direction.
Our neutral rogue.
Wow.
Well, this should be a fun day.
Yay, we got internal conflict. Yay. It's about time.
Charlotte, you know that inside voice that you hear in your head sometimes? It's supposed to stay in there.
Out of game or in game?
Yes.
Just because I'm a Ridney does not mean that I con people, and I don't appreciate that insinuation.
It had nothing to do with the fact that you're Renee.
You did very much made it sound that way.
No, it has very much to do with the fact that you're a sneaky rogue that has a mysterious patron none of us have met, and you clearly do shady things.
Again, these are prejudices and insinuations that I'm not particularly fond of.
Okay. How about you go find out if we're getting Vaughn's bow back anytime soon?
Oh God. What bow? What are you talking about? You never gave me a bow.
Did you get a receipt?
What receipt?
Okay.
Good stuff.
I'm almost in tears over here. I'm laughing so hard.
So I'll eventually wake up, I'm assuming.
Oh, you're awake. You just
We were going to leave without Charlotte.
I wake up and everyone's gone.
they said you could fly, so you could catch up.
Yeah, good idea.
You can fly?
You can fly.
He can talk.
Well, yeah, I guess
That's right.
With-
She's a flying, talking Charlotte.
with the insults from Genevieve, I'm gonna go and look for Callie now.
All right. Perception.
Oh boy.
Oh,
29.
Okay. So you don't see Kali. However, you do hear arguing from one of the buildings. Trees.
checking out.
Okay. I guess I will go investigate. Or at least sneak up to get a better listen.
Okay. Well, with that, perception, I'm not gonna have you roll again because, dang, that was a high one.
That was a nat 20.
All right. So basically, what you're hearing is an argument about what the tribe is going to do between various elders.
Okay.
There are some of them that are advocating for leaving. Some are advocating for staying. There's one guy who suggests, we could stay and deal with him, and then, if we don't like it, then we could leave. And there's one loud, grumpy voice who's like, can't let them do this to us. This is our land. And anyone that tries to take it from us should be treated as invaders and dealt
Oh,
with.
that's not good. If I was an invader, I'd be worried about that.
But after a few minutes, you realize that the ROing is basically going in circles. They don't really seem to be getting anywhere with it. Like many council meetings.
Yeah. Only this one, they're going to actually have to figure something out.
Yeah. But at the particular moment, it just seems to be a lot of yelling and not a lot of progression.
It's a shame. Well, I'll continue my search for Kali then.
Okay. So eventually you find her over amongst the wolf pack. It looks like she's setting one up to go out. She has a bow and some arrows on her. It is not Vaughn's bow, which would be way too big for her.
So I'll greet her before I get all the way up on her. I don't want to sneak up on her like she did me.
Well, again, it's kind of like the same thing with the deer. As you approach, the wolves look in your direction, which draws her attention. She's like, ah. She notes that you're wearing the brooch, and she kind of smiles. There's something else you need.
I was just thinking, and I forgot to ask the question earlier. When and how will I retrieve the bow when it's finished?
Well, I will bring it to you.
Okay.
When trying to interpret her grumbling can be difficult, but I believe it should be done by the end of tomorrow.
Oh, perfect. Then we get to spend another night in your very, very welcoming little village. It is quite peaceful here.
Do you hunt?
Me? No. Well, not animals.
She raises an eyebrow at that as she's not entirely sure what that means, but well, I need to go off and do some hunting. While we do enjoy the feasting, it did deplete our stock, so.
Okay. Well, seeing as I haven't done anything to really help out too much yet, I'd be more than willing to help however I can.
No, you are guests.
Yeah, maybe so. But I'm looking to stretch my legs a little bit anyway, if you wouldn't mind.
She's looking you over. You might have a bit of trouble keeping up, but you look quiet enough. Very well. Gather anything you need, and we'll head off.
Excellent. Do you want me to bring my mount, my horse?
Can it move through the woods quietly?
He's going on.
It's a war horse, so probably not.
Goodbye, Kaji.
Wouldn't be much of a hunt if we scared off all the animals before we could catch any.
Yeah, true. All right. Well,
actually, I'll tell you what. If you want to take your mount down the road, about out of game, trying to say a distance in a term that they would use but basically a couple miles. She's gonna do a circle to try and hunt some stuff. She'll bring it to you for you to bring back into town while she continues. That way she doesn't have to come all the way back to town herself.
That works.
I say town.
Be more than happy to assist.
Well, thank you. Out of game. You look quiet enough. Your horse, not so much.
Fair enough.
Also, your horse probably wouldn't really enjoy going around with a wolf.
Nah, not at all.
All right. Well, you go off to do that. I assume you do other things before you go?
The only thing I would need is my gear, and I pretty much carry everything that I would need on me already. I'm looking through my equipment list. Yeah, for hunting, I wouldn't bring anything else with me.
Okay.
So,
Can you make me a wisdom check?
wisdom.
Mm.
Oh boy. Um. Okay. That's a 1.
That's not good.
Okay.
There's definitely something that I've missed.
Oh, yeah. All right, so you go and you get your horse and you head on down the road. Meanwhile, the rest of the group waiting for you to return and tell them the answer.
How long do you think it's gonna be?
They yelled at me.
So yeah, it's been over an hour since Kaji left.
God damn it. See, I knew it.
Cormac, I
calmed her,
assume you
She
have.
confronted them, and now she's dead.
I assume you've taken Wriggle to find his parents to get him cleaned.
Yes.
He's not happy about that, and you end up having to carry him under your arm as he tries to escape. And suddenly you know why he is called Wriggle. Because he does not want another bath.
That's funny.
You do eventually find his mother, who is... She does the put upon sigh. Not surprised, just disappointed. She takes the boy from your arm. Thanks you for bringing him and apologizes for anything he has done. And
Actually, I brought the parchment with me, and I'm like, actually, this is what he did. Does seem to have some skill.
She looks at it, and she's actually surprised. Like, I've seen him doing drawings in the dirt, but
He has a
nothing
gift,
like
it
this.
seems.
Indeed. She's honestly very surprised. Like, she did not know how skilled her son was.
I offer the parchment to him, like, here, keep it.
Thank you. I am sorry about him getting ink on your clothing.
I laugh. It isn't easy. They're cleaned easily enough. And I will be honest, it was a good laugh. I bow to her and wish her a good day, and
So, give me a perception check as you walk away. You know what? Never mind. You can just hear it. So she goes, "All right, young one. We'll go inside and we'll hang this on the wall." He seems excited about that because obviously if he's done something good enough. And then you get to get scrubbed thoroughly. At which the thrashing resumes. Maybe you'll be able to. Maybe you've already found
calling
your adult name.
Out again. What's that? Ink stain?
Possibly. But that's so. It's a thing where the gnomes' children are given use names, but they're not the names they're going to be known by their whole life.
Yep.
And then once they've reached adulthood, they take another name. So, like, all these people have names, but usually those names mean something in another language. Probably Beb, but possibly other ones as well. So I'm not sure what Inkstain would offhand translate into, but yes, that could in fact be what he ends up getting known as. You come back to find that Genevieve is like, I don't know where Kaji went. She
I'd
has
find
not
her.
returned.
Her.
Find what?
Her.
Find Genevieve. Are you asking
No.
Genevieve?
No, you said he hasn't come back.
She.
I mean, she. Yeah. Her, she, whatever, female. Do you want me to look for her?
Josh?
I mean, I feel like at that point I'm just inviting losing two of my.
They just drop off for everyone else?
Yeah.
Did
Yeah.
I drop off?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was feel like I'm inviting losing two of my, and then it just stopped.
Companions.
Okay.
So maybe Kaji's a big girl. You know, she's probably fine, and give it some time before we get too worried.
Okay.
It's not like it hasn't happened before.
Do you sit around waiting till she comes back? Or until you've decided that's been too long, or do you do something in the meantime?
Genevieve, if she could help with the ink stains. Because as I recall, you have prestidigitation.
Me?
I asked if anybody has any magic to help with cleaning. I thought somebody did.
I mean,
Yeah, I do.
I would appreciate a little help then. The little fellow got some ink stains on my clothes, and well, not terribly difficult to get out.
Well, I'll just cast a prestidigitation on your clothes to. That does clean them, right,
Yes,
Justin?
it does.
Perfect. That's what I do.
That
Bam.
is one of the main uses for it.
Brand new.
Thank you.
Magic is wonderful.
Isn't it just?
And prestidigitation is a 0 level spell, so I can cast it as many times as I want a day, can't I?
Actually, once you've cast it, it's active for an hour. You can just change what it does over that time.
Neat.
Yep. Why in the other game, I literally every time it turns off, I just cast it again immediately.
So you always have it on, basically. And because you
Unless
get
I'm
unlimited
asleep for
cast
some
of
reason.
it.
Which doesn't happen often, but yes.
Yeah, you only sleep when the guide brings you to sleep.
She never did. Alright, so does anyone do anything to fill the time? Or are we just moving on?
Moving on.
Moving on.
Okay.
Do-do-do-do-do.
But loose and fancy free. Got it. So Genevieve, it has been close to 3 marks since Kaji left. Which would be about 3 hours.
okay, so what are the chances that I was right? She got conned. I just sent her to go confront the conner, and now she's dead.
Hold on a second. Let me see if this does anything. I don't know if we can do it.
I don't know.
For the person.
See, I'm like, well, while you're debating that, let's go check on the animals. Because have you tended to yours this morning?
Yeah, I thought we were leaving.
I was not clear on that, so I hadn't yet. So I'm going to go.
All right, so you go out
What?
to tend to the to your donkey. There's your donkey, the cart horse, John's horse.
I don't appreciate that, Justin.
Or you can appreciate it or not, it doesn't change the truth.
I'm getting nervous. I cast fireball on the trees.
Wait, no. It's my new
Burns down
form
the
of calling
village.
birds. I can ask a question to the birds.
You can.
You
Yeah.
can.
What?
So
That's my
Jim,
new. Go
or
ahead.
I'm sorry, Cormag, you realize Kaji's mount isn't here.
Like, I see that, and immediately I'm back at the cabin. Her mount is missing.
Okay.
Bitch, she was in on it.
I guess.
That, but I'm definitely wanting to ask questions. Charlotte, do you offer to talk to the birds?
Hell yeah, dude. So I look like a fucking. So I kind of like, obviously, I'm listening to the conversation and I kind of came in a little late. But for the most part, you looked obviously really concerned. I asked you what the concern was. You explained that, Kaji's been gone
You
for some time.
asked them where that little lying thief ran off to with our shit.
I don't ask that. That's not something I ask. I'm carefree. I love all the animals and people. Anyways, I ask Cormac what's wrong.
Storing your gold?
Yeah. So I ask Cormac what's wrong. Probably Cormac explains to me what's wrong.
I'm like, I know I actually look at you a little oddly. Kaji has been gone for 3 hours. She was supposed to go find out when we were getting Vaughn's bow back.
All right. So I'm like, So I'm thinking, and I'm like, you see
And
me
her
do
horse
like
is
that.
missing.
Yeah. So you see me get all excited, and I'm like, oh, this is my chance to. Genevieve gave me this really cool item that I managed to interpret in, and I really want to use it. It's going to be kind of weird, but I might sound like I'm calling for birds, so I'm going to step out. I don't know, are we inside or outside when we're doing this?
Well, I assume when you're having the conversation, you're inside the visitor's lodge or traveler's lodge.
Yep. So I'm going to step outside. I'm assuming I understand this spell and how it works clearly. Obviously, if I can interpret it, then I probably have a deep understanding, considering it's a druid spell.
Okay.
So I'm going to start verbalizing and then start to cast. In a weird way, you'll start to see me make a low-pitched bird call.
Okay. Well, I remind you that it was one of the things you noted in the morning, is there's plenty of birds that live literally in the tops of these houses because they are trees.
Yeah, so now I'm like, they're gonna definitely respond. So I'm like,
So yeah, so you do that, and there's a moment of silence, and then there is a flurry of twittering.
Cacophony.
Yeah, that's a very good word for it, actually. A cacophony.
okay.
And the birds, you can hear it like spreading outwards. What exactly did you ask?
Cormac, what did you want me to ask exactly? I recall I was going to ask you that.
What?
If they know where
No,
I'm
he
assuming.
is confused. He's like, wait, what are you doing?
Yeah. So, well, before I started, I'm assuming you told me that I'm going to ask if they can locate my friend whose description is this.
Okay,
And
Ben.
the problem
yes.
is they didn't tell you to cast a spell. You're like, hey, I'm going to do something. So they don't know to
Okay.
tell you to word it anyway. This is
Fair
all
enough.
you.
Game on. Okay. So did I get? So here's my next inquiry, GM. Do I know that for the most part that our rogue friend has gone missing?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
that's what's going
That's
on.
what's going on. She's been gone for 3 hours now.
Just want to make sure. I don't want to. Okay. So yep, I asked the birds. I tweet back at them, and I'm asking them if they know where my friend is. And I describe my friend Kaji.
The large bipedal
And
cat.
yes, the large bipedal cat that wears this type of outfit generally.
Okay.
And
I'm going to remind you of something.
okay.
They are birds. They're
I'm a
not
large
that
cat.
intelligent. You have
Fair
to
enough.
phrase it in ways they'll understand. So describing an outfit other than in colors is
True.
not
No, fair,
commonly
respectable.
thought of. And I'll
Yep,
give
they
you enough
won't
that you know
understand it.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
You
But
could pretty
large
much just say
bipedal cat.
large cat. I'm the only large cat in this woods unless there's something else we really need to be worried about.
I'm looking for my large cat friend that stands on 2 feet. Yep. So that's what I do.
Okay. So it goes out, and a little bit later, you get the response that your large cat friend is sitting on top of the knot deer in the middle of the
The nut deer.
travel way
Okay.
down the road. Or
Uh,
out of game, she's on the road on her horse, a ways down the road.
Alrighty.
Like she's not near the village at all. But it's done in a way that birds would. As I said, she's on the knot horse on the travel way.
Okay. All right. Good enough.
Or on the knot
All
deer,
right.
not
So
because
I like it. The not
like
deer.
a deer, but it's not a deer. So
The not deer.
Well,
she has gone
I'm
down
going-
the road.
So yeah, I described that to Cormag.
So yeah, you see her whistle into the trees, which causes a whole lot of noise. And then it goes quiet. She just sits there for a little bit, waiting and listening. And a little bit later, there's a more like the noise from the birds never stop, but it gets louder again. And then she turns to you and says,
The not deer. Our friend is on the not deer. I can't do it. I'm sorry. Our friend. I'll just probably say that our friend is down the road.
That was terrifying.
I didn't want to. I should have said in game. I probably would have jokingly said the not deer, but because when the whole joke with Eunice and the short tree, but
The short tree.
so I would have
Forgot all about
jokingly, but I would have definitely said you would have understood me telling you that he's down, that she's down the road is what I kind of described.
so you say it the way the birds said it to you.
Yeah, basically, and you're kind of like, what the fuck?
No, in game. I'm sorry. What?
She's on the not deer down the road.
Down the travel way.
Down the travel.
Do you point down the road to demonstrate what you mean, like in that direction?
Absolutely. I absolutely.
So he points north up the road the way you guys came.
Okay then.
Do we go see our friend or? Oh boy! I wonder what she's
Well,
doing.
I will bring up. It is 9 o'clock.
Yeah. Just tell me what you're doing.
Keep going,
so
but
need to start wrapping up because some people gotta get sleep.
The not deer down the trailway.
for one, am very much inclined to go off after her because what the hell?
So yeah, that just confirms she's fucking running.
You said she's. Oh my God, that's not good. We need to go find out where she went.
See, I always knew that you were the closet racist.
The fuck? This whole game is real fuck tonight.
All right. So
She's. I'm not. That's the problem. Is I'm like I want to defend you, but you literally just vanished on us.
Thank you, my chirpy friends.
all right. I guess that's where we'll call it for tonight. With 5 of the party members getting ready to hunt down the 6.
Who's just living their best life, just not a care in the world.
Yeah, just out here enjoying nature.
Yeah, I got taken hunting.
Yeah. Well, not really. You're a
Yeah, just kind of an accessory.
Yeah, so actually about this time where they're having this discussion, she comes out of the woods, and I'll need the check from you. I'm not even going to bother with that. And she's like, well, here's what I've got. You go ahead and take this back to the village, and I'll meet you there after doing a circuit on the other side.
All right,
She has a
I'll
sack with
be
a couple
back to.
smaller animals in it.
I'll be back to meet you.
No. I'll finish the circuit at the village.
Okay. Well, I'm glad I could help.
Yeah, means that I can stay out longer and get more done.
All right. Anyone in particular I should take this to?
Yeah, if you see Brenda or Granch, either of them would be good.
Okay. Sounds good.
See you back there. And that will be the end of today's session.